Hey there, Castle Law clients and investors. Today, I have the pleasure of having one of my very, very, very close personal friends and close business associates, Frank Montro. Yesterday was Father's Day, and I can't think of a better opportunity to have a webinar on this topic. When I was reflecting yesterday and thinking about interviewing Frank and just getting really excited, I thought about concepts like gratitude and how much close personal relationships mean to me. And Frank, I'm just so happy that you could spend a few minutes with us this morning talking about shifting mindset and what it takes to be a real top producing realtor. Frank, welcome.
Thank you, Gary. It's great to be here, and this is one of my favorite topics. I start my days off with affirmations all the time. To me, it's the most important thing. What the problem is, everybody knows deep down that it's important to have a good mindset. A lot of people have not experienced it, though, and they haven't really experienced what it's like to think like a high-level person, and consequently they don't see the results. But there's no doubt in my mind, Gary, that you cannot achieve a high performance level without a great mindset. Gary V, I just saw a simple thing the other day. It was a picture of him holding his finger up to his head saying it's a mind game. And that sums it all up. If I had to say what is your success based on, it's based on this right here. This is the most important investment that I can make in my day. And you know what's funny is, Gary, is that people don't understand how important it is, because there's no ROI tag to it. You're not going to get people responding back to you immediately. You're not going to get a paycheck handed. So it's not a high ROI activity. It's a low ROI activity, and it requires discipline. That's why a lot of people don't do it. If I told someone, hey, go deliver this down the street and pick up, drive 2 miles and somebody will be there and they'll give you $100. People will do that all day long because it's a high ROI. They know they're going to get paid when they do that activity. When you do this activity, especially early in the morning, there's nobody there saying, hey, great job. Hey, there's no positive feedback. Nobody, you go to a closing and you see people's reactions. Nothing's more rewarding than helping someone and see them tear up with the tears of joy, and you get to experience that. This is the where the grind starts. This is where the great producers make it happen. They start in the morning, and every morning I start on my knees with gratitude. I always think of 5 things. Nothing centers me better, Gary, than gratitude. Nothing gets me going. Nothing puts a smile on my face. The first thing I do, and I actually got this from Oprah. I borrowed this from Oprah. What she does every morning, when she opens up her eyes, she spreads her arms open and she goes, "Thank you, God." And she's recognizing that she has this gift of life. And nothing is, when you think about it, what's greater than the gift of life? What is more important than having the ability to be here one more day, getting to see your family, getting to help others? I mean, nothing's greater than that. So that's the first thing that I meditate on is gratitude about life. And then my response back to my God is, I get a little emotional when I talk about some of these things because it's really, I've invested a lot of time in this meditation, and that's the other. Let me just say one other thing too. You just don't race through your list. The worst thing you can do, the dumbest thing you can do is race through your list. Read off like I've got one of my lists queued up: gratitude, life, children, wife, house, job, opportunities, finance. I can run through it, and I don't gain the benefit. Instead, if I go item by item, gratitude, and I'm looking at my list right now, life. So I'm thinking thinking to myself, wow, I get a chance to join my children, my wife, go to work. I get to do all these things, enjoy my house. I start going through a list of all these things I'm grateful for. And then I make a commitment after that. I'm like, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give back to you. Today, my way of showing God, my God is Jesus Christ. My way of showing back to you my gratitude for this gift is I'm gonna give it everything I got. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna provide excessive value to everybody that I come into. I'm gonna be kind. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna help people. And when I rise in,
is that something, Frank, that you've been doing forever? How did you just come to realize that it seems like no matter how early I wake up in the morning, and I know I've teased you about this before. I'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. The first thing I do is I turn my phone on, see if there's any emergencies, text messages. I check Facebook, and I see Frank. As hard as I work, Frank, you've been on Facebook for an hour and a half before me, and you get me started with these positive things. There's so much negative stuff that goes on in our world. We watch the news. We were influenced by people, but you and I now, we have occasion to talk probably once a day. And every time I talk to you, I just feel like I'm being lifted up because you don't allow me to have that negative energy. When did that all start for you?
Well, no, that's a phenomenal question, actually. Probably about it was in the early 2000s. I was in the airport and I read a book by Robin Sharma, and he was talking about things that he did with he's a coach to a lot of top CEOs for Forbes 100, on the Forbes 100 list. And so they all talk about getting up early, which I thought to myself, wow, I'm doing all this stuff. Then the one thing that he talked about that really resonated with me was that affirmation. So I'm like, I need to start doing it. Let me give it a shot. He said, everybody makes fun of him. And he said, but you know what? You can make fun of me all you want. All of my CEOs on the Forbes 100 list are getting up early in the morning, and they're all doing affirmations. And people think, oh, this is kooky, spiritualism, all this stuff. But the bottom line is it works. So I started doing Gary in the I think it was about 2001-ish. I started doing it, and it was about a year later. My wife and I were sitting around just having our usual conversation, and she stopped and just started staring at me, and didn't say a word, and staring at me, and staring at me. So now I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I'm like, what? He said, what the hell has happened to you? And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, your attitude, everything has changed dramatically. So then I thought, wow, these affirmations work. It took a year. It took a year of doing it. But now when people start noticing my attitude and start commenting on it, I'm like, wow, this stuff really works. So it isn't hokey. It isn't some kind of mumble jumble or some crazy, spiritual, chants or something like that. This is actual stuff that works. And so it's, Gary, I started somewhere in the beginning of 2000, and I've been doing it consistently ever since. I mean, I'll miss a day now and then. But overall, you can pretty much catch me doing it every day. And it makes a difference, And so I'm naturally attracted to positive talk. And when somebody is around me now too, it makes me uncomfortable to hear somebody just sit there and complain and argue and whine. And, there's just so many things to be grateful for. And they say that perception is everything. And it really is. I can't tell you how many times I've seen two different people doing the same job, and one person's so grateful for what they got, the other person can't see a positive thing. And like you said, when you're around me, I lift you up. That's the greatest compliment you can give me. And I like hanging around positive people. and you've got great energy. I'm always looking forward to calling you because we're on the same wavelength. We're both high energy guys. We both want to maintain that high energy. It's tough. It's tough when you hang around people that don't that don't see anything positive. It really wears me out, to hang around somebody for an hour or two because I have to, and there's not a positive word. Yeah, I remember recently I said to someone, is there anything going on right with your life? And I know there is, but they're just wired that way.
I'll point something out to you, Frank, that I bet you that you don't even realize. When Karen, my client services liaison, got a hold of you and said, "Hey, can you send some stuff over about you?" We've got this slide up, and some of the things that Frank told me is, I want to, what do I want to be known for? I want to develop neighborhoods and increase overall quality of life. My main goal is to raise the living standard in Chicago without breaking the client's bank. The other one I think I got backwards. I think you wanted to say you get what you give. But here's the thing that I want to just have you talk about for a second and just point out to people. If you really want to be better than the majority, you have to have your mind shifted in that top 5%. And here's what you won't notice about what Frank has on here. His goal is not to net $5 million a year. His goal is not to be the number one realtor. His goal is not to be, the top person at Keller Williams. All of those things flow from what your why is, but it's not part of your why. And that selflessness, that unselfish behavior of wanting to help other people, that's the drive. So I'm sure when you put this together, you weren't even thinking about this, but there was no goal about, hey, I want to buy a Ferrari. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that as a goal. But your goals were based on service, based on gratitude, based on helping others. And I think that's a real unique, a very unique mindset with you and with other top producing people.
Well, that everything you're saying is true. And, but now that I'm reflecting on it a little bit more, I don't really look at my job as a job. That's what people always ask me, man, how do you do it? I mean, and I hear, through other, indirectly, people are always asking, how does that guy do it? I mean, what does he do? And, obviously I've got systems and everything in place, but my energy level is endless because of this one of the main benefits of staying positive is this endless energy. It's like it never stops. I can get up at 4:30 in the morning to hit the ground running because I'm so excited. I'm happy because I'm helping other people and I'm making this a better world. And I'm changing the landscape in the city of Chicago. That's exciting and that's fun, and it's a good thing. I'm not ripping people off. I'm not hurting people. I'm helping people. And I just love helping people. I mean, I don't, my oldest kid who's going to be a senior in high school, I said the other day, Spence, and I ask him periodically, what do you want to do? And he's always got certain things he's kind of thinking about doing. And he said, yeah, Dad, I'm really not sure, but I know one thing for sure is I want to help people. As long as I'm helping people, and I thought, fine, he's drinking the Kool-Aid and he gets it. My whole thing is, as long as you enjoy what you're doing and you're helping people, you're not working a day in your life. You're just, I'm just out helping, I'm just out making it better. I'm enjoying myself. I get a lot of great feedback from it. And there's days when I don't get feedback, but I just love, I know that I'm helping others. And when I can see something in an email, it's so much fun to make a difference in this world. To me, if I was just living for a paycheck, Gary, I'd get so burnt out after a while. I would be I would be working for Bear 30, so to speak. If all I'm doing is I'm doing something that I absolutely hate, and I definitely can encourage people today, find two things. Either A, find something that you really enjoy, or B, change your perspective. You know, you may be doing something right now that you were designed to do, that you're physically and mentally and spiritually wired to do, but you bought that average thinking. You bought into that BS, you know, that you're not supposed to be happy, that that a job is supposed to make you miserable, and you're supposed to be working for the weekends. You know, there's that song back in the 80s, everybody's working for the weekends. There's that whole average mindset that dumbs down the fact that we're here in this world to help others, and our job is our calling. It's our purpose. You know, it's as important as our family and as our recreation time, and our vacation time. Our job is that important. And when you put on when I always tell people, put on a new pair of glasses, change your mindset. If you're miserable right now, but you're where you're supposed to be, then that's a choice. And that, you know, one of the coolest things, Gary, about being positive is it's a daily choice. I mean, I can go from being extremely angry right now to extremely happy to extremely sad to to extremely depressed. I mean, everything is based on my choice, and that's what I love. I control this. I can control my thinking, and believe me, when you're positive, you have endless energy. You attract positive people. You get more stuff done. You want, it all starts here. It doesn't start, oh man, if I can't wait for the, real estate market inventory to come back. Oh man, I can't wait till, this buyer gets their credit fixed. And no, I'm not locked into, to anything on the outside for my happiness. If I have these 3 deals closed, I'm going to get this money. I'm going to be happy. No. I'm happy right now. And then if my thinking is, no matter what comes at me, it's fuel. So if these 3 deals close, hey, I'm on a roll. Let's push a little harder today. If the 3 deals fall apart, that means I'm going to go make it happen today, Gary. I'm going to go replace those 3 deals, and I'm going to get 3 more deals. Anything that happens to me is fuel. It's a mindset, baby. It's perception. That's all it is. Rewire. Stop hanging out. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if this is not sinking in yet for people, I want to really just highlight something that Frank is saying here, which is it's about finding your why. What gets you up and out of bed in the morning? What makes you want to just run through a wall? And I know, Frank, you like watching some of these sports videos of sports guys that are ready to win. I mean, I just think about business. I think about life like a team and like sports. And if you've got guys that are on the sidelines, like I remember James Harrison from the Pittsburgh Steelers, or some of these guys that they are lifting their teammates up. They're pulling them up. They're giving people a hand up. They're not saying, hey, you missed, you dropped that pass. You suck. They're saying, come on, let's go. Let's do this. We're going to come back. We're going to win. And, that shifting that mindset, the winning mentality, that's what separates great teams from good teams. There's a lot of different books, From Good to Great, extreme ownership, taking ownership over things instead of blaming others. And I've not ever seen or heard out of you where if a contract falls through or something bad happens, where you're saying it's this person's fault or that person's fault. Even you being the number 1 realtor out there, you're saying, what did I do wrong? How can I improve? How can I help my team members around me? So, I mean, it's that's the way I see it.
I want to take blame of everything. Even if it's technically not my fault, I'm going to make it my fault, because once I put it on the screen, and once I say to myself, this is my fault, I can change it. When I say, it's this guy's fault on my team, then I shift the ownership and the correction over to that person. But if I say to myself, this is my fault, then I can go talk to the person on my team and I can say, look, maybe I didn't explain this right, but you can't talk to one of my clients that way, or you can't do this activity. And so then I have control over the situation. Then I go back and I apologize to the client if something went wrong, and we move forward. And the corrections made. So it's one of the most important perceptions is to always, if you're on a team, is to always take blame for everything. Then you take control of the situation. Then you have the power to change the situation. And I like having the power of my court. I don't like having the power in other people's court to determine my destiny. So that right there is a powerful perception.
Well, Frank, thanks for spending a little time with us this morning. I know a lot of people think of you as a real estate agent for investors, but I have opportunity and the pleasure to work with a lot of your agents. I think you do owner-occupant properties. You do first-time home buyers. I know you're working. We've got a luxury division that should be rolling out here. What's the best way for my clients to get in contact with you?
Well, yeah, I would say call me directly. And yeah, just to feed off of that, yes. So if you're an investor, I can help you move your properties quickly and get you the highest ROI. If you're a buyer, I can introduce you to all the different programs and grants out there. If you're a real estate agent and you're looking to join a high-performing team, that would be me. Please give me a call and let's have a conversation and see if we can work together. So yes, and if you're just a regular a plain bread and butter seller, please call me. We have a great exit program to help you sell your property and get the highest return on your property. The best way to reach me is on my cell phone at 708-307-0777. My team number is 708-307-0888. So real simple, 708-307-0777 or 0888. We'll get a hold of someone. My personal email is montrof@aol.com, montrof@aol.com. My last name, first initial at AOL.com. And Gary, it's been fun. I always love talking about mindset. It's a vital and integral part of my life. And I just can't see myself going through the day without doing affirmations. For lack of a better term, I'm addicted to affirmations.
Well, thanks so much. It's been life-changing for me, and I enjoy reading them, and it's certainly helped improve my mindset as well. So thanks for coming on today, Frank.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Thanks.